Okay, so kita akan bincangkan soalan untuk unit 2. Okay, page 24. Okay, I ask you to do number 1 and also number 3. Okay, so for number 1, okay, we will start with number 1 first. You have to listen to the audio. Okay, so kita dengar dulu audio dia. Okay, first you have to read the question. Okay, awak tengok dekat bawah ni. Ni tips dia. Important to read the question carefully before you listen to the recording. Okay, dia suruh kita baca dulu soalan sebelum kita dengar recording. Okay. To think about what sort of words the answer might be. Kita fikir apa agaknya yang mungkin jadi jawapan kepada soalan tu. So sebab bila kita baca soalan, kita akan tahu dia nak tanya pasal apa. Kita dah boleh agak. Okay. So, bila kita mendengar tu, kita tahu nak cari pasal apa. We know what to listen for. Okay. Alright. So, first, you are going to hear someone talking about the legend of Robin Hood. Okay, kita akan dengar seorang bercakap tentang Robin Hood. A character, satu watak, who lived in England. He hidup di England around the year 1300. Okay. Listen to the first part and circle the correct word. So, dia suruh kita bulatkan jawapan. According to the legend, Robin Hood lived in, so we have two choice, Sherwood Forest or Nottingham Forest. Okay, let's listen.
Unit 2. Listening. Exercise 1.
Robin Hood was a legendary character from medieval England. Legend has it that he lived in Sherwood Forest near...
Okay, we hear the word Sherwood Forest. Okay, so the answer would be Sherwood Forest. Alamak terbesar wordnya. Alright, next.
Nottingham, with a group of friends finding food and shelter there and stealing from rich travellers who passed by.
Okay, so they steal from... Oh, wait. Robin Hood, okay. I forgot to look at the question number 2. Okay, Robin Hood lived in the forest with his family of friends. Okay, so tadi kita dengar perkataan friends. Okay, so that's the answer for number 2. Okay, let's read first the question number 3. An outlaw. Outlaw ni maksudnya macam penjenayah. Okay, is a criminal who is wanted by or working with the authorities. Okay, dikehendaki ataupun bekerjasama dengan pihak berkuasa. Okay, let's listen.
Because of this, he and his team of men were known as outlaws. That is, criminals who are wanted by the authorities.
Okay, wanted by the authorities. So that's the answer for number 3. Alright, so let's go to number 4. Robin Hood and the Sheriff of Nottingham were well known to be friends or enemies. Okay, dia dengan Sheriff of Nottingham. Friends or enemies?
The man in charge of the area at the time was the Sheriff of Nottingham, and Robin Hood and the Sheriff were famous enemies.
Okay, so we hear the word enemies. Okay, so last one. The legend says that Robin Hood used to maksudnya pernah steal, curi from the rich or poor. So, dia curi dari kaya ataupun miskin.
However, although Robin Hood and his men were criminals, they have always been considered the heroes of the people, because the legend says that they used to steal money from the rich and give it to the poor.
Okay, steal money from the rich. Okay, so kita ada kata kunci dekat sini, from the rich. Okay, so that's the answer for part 1. Okay, now we go to part 3. Okay, benda yang sama tentang Robin Hood juga. Now listen to the whole speech about the legend of Robin Hood. Okay, but this time this is longer. Okay, for question 1 until 8, complete the sentences with a word or short phrase. Okay, so a word sama ada satu perkataan or short phrase, maksudnya lebih dari satu perkataan. Alright, so I think we should read first. The legend says that Robin Hood would steal money from the wealthy passing through Sherwood Forest. So, dia akan steal money, curi duit from wealthy, kaya, passing through melalui Sherwood Forest. Okay, so let's try to listen.
Exercise 3.
Robin Hood was a legendary character from medieval England. Legend has it that he lived in Sherwood Forest, near Nottingham, with a group of friends, finding food and shelter there and stealing from rich travellers who passed by.
Okay, rich, travelers. Rich, same meaning with wealthy, right? Okay, so the answer for the first one would be travelers. Okay, so when you are, bila nak eja pun kena ejaan yang betul. Okay, travelers. Alright, okay, so we get the answer for number 1. Okay, let's look at sentence number 2. Although they were really criminals, walaupun mereka ni penjenayah, Robin and his men were actually thought of. Robin dan geng dia thought of, dianggap apa? Because they help the poor. Kerana mereka membantu yang miskin. Okay, let's listen.
Because of this, he and his team of men were known as outlaws. That is, criminals who were wanted by the authorities. The man in charge of the area at the time was the Sheriff of Nottingham, and Robin Hood and the Sheriff were famous enemies. However, although Robin Hood and his men were criminals, they have always been considered the heroes of the people.
Okay, the heroes of the people. Okay,
Because the legend says that they used to steal money from the rich and give it to the poor.
Okay, so the hero sebab dia curi duit dari orang kaya daripada orang miskin. So, actually thought of as... Okay, so the answer would be heroes. Wait ya. Okay. Or you can write heroes of the people. Okay, itu yang dia cakap tadi. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next one. The legend of Robin Hood has interested people. Okay, dia menarik minat orang for over selama. Okay, let's listen.
People have been fascinated by the legend of Robin Hood for over 700 years.
Okay, so you hear that right? For over 700 years. Okay, that's the answer for number 3. Alright, so number 4. Let's look at the sentence first. Before modern communication, people used to pass down using songs and poems. So, kita akan cari perkataan yang sama maksud ataupun mungkin dia akan sebut terus songs and poems. Okay, let's try to listen.
However, nobody knows for sure whether Robin Hood was a real person or a myth. And if he was a real person, then who was he? Most of the evidence we have comes from songs and poems that were written from around the year 1400 onwards. In the days before television, radio and even books...
Okay, radio, television and books, that is modern. So, kita dah sampai pada modern communication.
News and stories would be passed down in this way.
Okay, news and stories would be passed down. Okay, kita ada dah perkataan passed down. Okay, news and stories. So, that is the answer. News and stories. Alright. Okay, so next one. This is actually king, not kind. Okay. King Edward II was king of England from 1284 sehingga to... Okay, so kita nak cari 1284 until bila? Okay, let's continue.
And a character called Robin Hood was certainly very well known as a famous outlaw at that time. Another source is the official records of the period, one of which says that a man called Robert Hood was working as a servant for King Edward II, who ruled from 1284 to 1327.
Okay, 1327. Okay, 13, 13. Wait ya. Okay, 13, 13. 27, right? Okay, 27. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, let's go to number 6. South Yorkshire is an area which is a short distance to the what of Nottingham. So, kita nak cari perkataan South Yorkshire. Short distance maksudnya dia dekat of Nottingham. Apa benda yang berkaitan dengan Nottingham? Okay, so let's try.
One problem that historians have, however, is that Robin or Robert and Hood were very common names in medieval times. So it's difficult to prove whether any of these men was the Robin Hood of the legend. Although Sherwood Forest is generally assumed to be where Robin lived, several early poems also indicate that an outlaw of the same name lived in South Yorkshire, which is a little way north of Nottingham.
Okay, so you listen north of Nottingham. Okay, utara, north. So, again, spelling, be careful ya. Okay, sebab ada part dekat exam awak, dia akan minta awak untuk tulis apa yang awak dengar. Tapi ejaan mesti betul. Mungkin dia akan kasih awak salah maybe satu huruf sahaja dan tidak mengubah maksud perkataan tu. Kalau awak salah satu huruf dan tak ubah maksud perkataan tu kepada maksud yang lain, mungkin boleh dapat markah. Tapi kalau salah satu huruf dan mengubah maksud perkataan tu jadi benda lain, yang itu awak tak akan dapat markah. So that's why you have to be careful when you are spelling. Okay? Alright, so let's go to number 7. King John ruled England. Okay, King John rule, memerintah England before King Edward II. Okay, so kita cari pasal King John.
As the two areas are quite close, and Robin may have moved around to escape the authorities, it's quite possible that he lived in both areas. We don't even know exactly when he lived. We have the official record connecting a Robert Hood with King Edward II, but later theories connect him to a different king, King John, who ruled a whole century earlier.
A whole century earlier. Okay, rule England. Dia kata a whole century. Century means abad tak silap saya bahasa Melayu dia. Okay, 100 years. Okay, so you can just write oh god. Okay, kejap. This is a problem with technology. Okay, rule England a century. Okay, 100 tahun sebelum King Edward II. Alright, so let's go to the last one. Robin Hood is a popular character in films and television because he helped and was against the wealthy rulers of the period. So, dia menentang pemerintah yang kaya pada masa itu. So, dia tolong apa? So, let's listen.
Despite the confusion, Robin Hood and the other characters in the legend have remained popular until today, and they attract thousands of tourists to Nottingham and Sherwood Forest every year. Many films and TV series have been made about the outlaw who fought for the common people and against the rich rulers of the time.
Okay, who fought for common people? Common people. Okay, so that's the answer. Common. Common maksudnya orang biasa. Common people. Common biasa, people, orang. Okay, so that's the answer for number 8. So here we have all the answers. Okay, for exercise 1 and 3. So that's all. Thank you.